Hi everyone, and welcome to my Warlords of Draenor beta guide on how to do top single target DPS as a Frost Mage. Now first I'm going to go over the talent choices that I made and the glyph choices that I made. Then I'm going to give you some tips on how to do your opener and some tips on how to keep your DPS up during the fight. Show you some of the macros that I use, and then we're going to end the video with some DPS on the dummy. Now I want to start off with the Prismatic Crystal, which is my favorite DPS talent by far. It does way more damage than the two other choices. Comet Storm looks nice, looks very nice. It just doesn't do enough damage. It's confused sometimes for doing AoE, which it doesn't. I see some mages in dungeons sometimes switching to this to do AoE on packs, but it's just the damage is split between whatever the amount is of mobs that are available. So it's going to do the same damage on one target or on 10 targets alike. Thermal Void looks nice, but it just doesn't come nowhere near Prismatic Crystal. And the reason for this is that Prismatic Crystal has an amazing synergy with Frozen Orb. In fact, I'm going to refer to this as the Prismatic Crystal Frozen Orb combo from now on. They both share a 1 minute cooldown. You use the Glyph of Splitting Ice mainly because of this, even if you're in a single target boss fight. And also for the moment we have our 1 minute cooldown on use Trinket, which we're going to combo. I've actually macroed my Frozen Orb with the Trinket. You're going to use this on cooldown because there's nothing else to look out for. All of the procs are RPPM based. There's no ICDs yet, so you just use this on cooldown. Now, the one thing that you should do to really optimize the damage that you do with the Prismatic Crystal Frozen Orb combo is that whenever it's about to come off cooldown, like 5 to 10 seconds before, what you do is you build up your mastery, the icicles above your head. You make sure that you don't cast any more ice lances. Like, let's say if there's 10 seconds left for the cooldown, use your last ice lances if you have any, and then just start building up your mastery. If you get brain freeze procs, that's good. Stronger icicles. And then when the cooldown's ready, you have a full set of icicles. Just pop Prismatic Crystal Frozen Orb and start nuking the crystal. Yeah, that's basically it. Alright, so let's move on to the level 90 tier talents. Mirror Image, Rune of Power, Encounter's Flow. Now, Rune of Power is going to limit your mobility. Mainly, that's what it's going to do. Encounter's Flow looks nice. You can keep your Brain Freeze procs, Fingers of Frost procs, to shoot them off at 4 or 5 stacks of Encounter's Flow, but it takes a lot to manage, especially during progress. We want as little management as possible. And in any case, I don't need to talk about this talent choice too much. Mirror Image does an insane amount of damage compared to the other two. That's what you choose. You use it on cooldown every 2 minutes, and there's nothing more to it. Now on to level 75 tier talents. I go for Unstable Magic because it requires the least management and just does the most damage out of the three. Now Frost Bomb is obviously the best choice to do AoE on packs of 4 or more. You take this when you go onto dungeons or whatever. On single targets, it's Unstable Magic. Ice Nova comes close, but Unstable Magic is better, and is even better because of the minimal management that it requires. It's just a passive ability. Now, when you do a dummy test and you compare the damage that Ice Nova has done, you'll see some bigger numbers on Ice Nova. But this has consequences, though. You know, when you cast Ice Nova, you're casting less Frost Bolts, which in turn give you less Ice Lance procs, whatever. So when you compare the two, you also have to keep in mind, or you also have to compare what Ice Lance has done, what Frostbolt has done. And I've done some really long dummy tests over and over, and Unstable Magic stays ahead. So yeah, that's the choice to go for. So level 15 tier talents. I go for Ice Flows, increased mobility, casting Frostbolt on the move, win. If you don't need to use Evanescence for a specific fight, if you don't need to use Blazing Speed, the only DPS increase that you get here is from Ice Flows. That's the default choice. Now, let's go over the glyphs. Glyph of Splitting Ice, of course, with its combo with Prismatic Crystal You have to have this. Glyph of Icy Veins because multi-strike beats haste. And yeah, well, I chose Rapid Displacement. You can just choose whatever actually, but DPS wise it's Splitting Ice and Icy Veins, and none of the minor glyphs are important DPS wise. Alright, that's it for the talent and glyph choices. Now on to macros. Two macros that I used. One is the Frozen Orb one with the trinket, and the other one is just my starting macro, which pops Berserking with the potion Icy Veins, and it starts casting a Frostbolt. I have an alt mod on Berserking, so when you start to fight with Time Warp or Bloodlust, I just press this so they don't stack, so I use Berserking afterwards. That's it for the macros. So all that's left to do is do some DPS on the dummy. Alright, so before we start, I want to show you this add-on, which I use to track two of the procs that we can track right now. The first one is the intellect proc that you get from this trinket, and the other one is the multi-strike proc from your weapon enchant. Now it's important to track these so that you can hold on to your Brain Freeze and Fingers of Frost procs and shoot them off when one of these or both of them preferably are up. And now what we're going to do is start off by casting Mirror Image, followed by the starting macro, which is going to pop Icy Veins, Berserking, and my potion, and it's going to start casting a Frostbolt. Now what most people then do is just immediately follow that up with a Frozen Orb, which I'm not going to do because I'm going to do 4 or 5 casts first to get my Icicles up, and hopefully we'll get some Brain Freeze procs during that time, so that you know, we get stronger Icicles to nuke the Prismatic Crystals with. Anyway, and this also gives your trinket the time to proc. It might not proc on your first cast, so just starting off with Frozen Orb immediately might not prove to be the best thing to do. So yeah, let's see what we can do. That's the first Brain Freeze, second Brain Freeze, that's good already. 2 more casts and Frozen Orb. And we nuke the Prismatic Crystal. Hope for as many procs as possible. Yeah, and then back to the boss. Now, of course, the biggest drawback to using Prismatic Crystal is that when it's over, you're gonna have to manually reselect your previous targets. But it's just something you get used to quite quickly. You learn when it's about to expire, so you don't cast a new Frostbolt, you just select your previous target, even when it's up, because you know it's going to disappear like within a second. So anyway, now we're DPSing the boss. The next thing that we look out for is when our next Prismatic Crystal Frozen Orb combo is going to come off cooldown. Now it's 10 seconds ahead, so I just shut off all my air stances. We got the proc a bit too early. There's nothing much you can do about that, it's our PPM. Brain Freeze is always nice. The second one, nicer. Now we're gonna shoot off our Frozen Orb, Prismatic Crystal, and start nuking. Well, we have still some of our trinket proc up. And this should be a nice... I'm not watching Scott at the moment, but it should have given us a nice boost. We'll just look at that after the video is over. Okay, so you just continue. Mirror Image about to come off in 20 seconds. Just use it on cooldown and shoot these off while the multi-strike proc is up. Yeah, that's it basically. So thanks for watching.